The Joe Rogan Experience.
Well, then also like the different environments that people live in sort of dictate their personality. Like you're a desert guy, right?
Yeah.
You're from the desert. Yeah. What is that? Scorpion.
I'm one of the few people I know that's been bit by one.
Have you really?
Yeah, and as I was going up to Joshua Tree to this studio that's really just a house. And
was that the one that you guys showed in the thing you did with Bourdain?
Yeah. Rancho de la Luna.
Yeah.
And but its magic is what's missing. And I mean everywhere. But and all that's left is like, what if you just, when the tide receded, it was just the idiosyncratic and the previously thrown away, like all in reborn, and it's just got that sort of feeling to it, right? So, and so I was driving up there, and I know I'm a desert boy. I know that you're not supposed to. At night times when everything comes out,
right? Because
in the day, everyone is like, "Ugh, really?" I mean, everything that walks or crawls is like. And so at night, everything that walks or crawls goes, "All right, let's go."
Right.
And so you wear shoes. If you do not wear shoes, you have made a mistake for sure. And as soon as we pull up to the rancho in the dirt parking lot, I open up the door, and I'm on the passenger side, and I step out, and I go in to reach for a 12-pack of beer, and something hit me on the foot, and I was like, and I lift my foot, and there's this black, or dark brownish, like a root beery brown scorpion hanging from my foot, going, "Hey, hey, 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 hey!" And I was like, I think it was like, ah! like a really butch gal who's been terrified for the first time, like
right.
What? And I slapped it. Oh. And I slapped it off my foot because that's my knee-jerk reaction. And as I did that, that's when I screamed and jumped like like a mouse or something,
right.
in the car, and in the door light of this, this scorpion hit the ground, like shuffled itself, turned, and came right at me.
Whoa!
And was sort of like, "Fuck you! Wait till you." It scared me. It scared me to death.
Came back at you. You imagine being that little, wanting to fuck up something as big as you.
Well, you'd have to, right? You'd have. It wouldn't be. There would be no bravado at all. It would be like,
yeah.
Like it would be. It would be a true believer, right? That in that moment, I'm like, "Fuck this thing," and it is 100% sure that it's going to fuck me up. And it was right, because what am I going to do? Like, I'm going to hit this stinger with my hands.
Right. What was the pain like?
Well, at that time, my understanding of scorpions was in our desert, the Mojave, there's two types. And one which is like, 24 hours of central nervous system shut down, so they can't even give you anything for the pain, because the thing that regulates that gets like turned off, and so you're just like, and
for 24 hours you're in pain.
That was my knowledge at that time, and the other one is akin to a bee sting. So
which one did you get?
Well, I had to like track back. This was before the internet, and so I go inside, and the remedy at that time, as Fred Drake, who rest in peace, told me, was to drink Jack Daniels and put your foot in a bucket of burning hot water, which is a little bit like having a horse on each leg and they take off a different direction, because like, get the hottest water you can take and continue the pain. Like it's such a wives' tale. It's almost like a divorcee's tale or something. It's right. Like, so I did that and waited because I didn't know which one it was. Turns out that the 24 hours one lives in another desert and more close to Arizona, and that it's not quite as I've described. I'm just telling you what I thought at the time.
Oh, right. You just
and it was much like a bee sting, but by the time I realized that, and it swelled up immediate and looked like it was going to keep going, because it got to this golf ball so fast that it was like, when will this stop?
Right.
But it was like a bee sting, but by the time I discovered that, I was so drunk that bee sting, schmee sting,
So you're just sitting there with your foot in a bucket of hot water, getting hammered. Scalding water.
Like it was like it's the hotter it is, the better. And I was like, don't dump it.
Imagine if the fucking real injury was you got 3rd-degree burns on your foot from the water, and there was nothing wrong with the beer. How mad would you be?
My friend said you should. The real remedy is you grab a shark and you
Stick it up your ass.
and you totally forget about.
A buddy of mine was in South America, and he got bit by a bullet ant. He got hit by a bullet ant on his heel, and he said the pain was so bad, but it was so bewildering that after the pain was over, he couldn't figure out which foot got bit.
Wait, because your brain's going like static.
He said it's so confusing. The pain's so confusing because it's for hours.
Do you think that? Because anytime I've seen that online, where it's like, I'm Dingo Piles, and I'm gonna let a bullet ant bite me. Where you're like, Jesus, man, don't hang out with this person.
We see the one where they put it in a glove.
Yeah, like a handful.
They pull. It's like a ritual that young men have to do to reach the coming of age.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's like jumping off on how bungee was invented with no bunge or no boing.
No boing.
It's just rope.
Just thunk.
To be a man, you jump up this thing, and it's like, I'm starting to identify as a. I wonder what the bullet ant thinks of all this. If it's like, no, I can never make any friends.
I don't think they give
what
a
the fuck?
I think they're just violence in insect form.
Don't you think that that's, if there ever was an alien, it would be easy to assume this little bullet ant in space that's just like, and then pushes so hard that there's 2 of them all of a sudden.